Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by Arrowhead at Mountain Spring Water. Chris McGee, Derek Fisher, big game James Worthy, Mike Bresnahan. We got Mike Trudell down at the arena. The Lakers roll into Oklahoma City with a lot of pressure on them in the standings, and they deliver their probably most impressive performance of the season as they beat OKC by 27 points. They built up a 29-point lead in that first half and were really never threatened, guys. Not sure what was more impressive for me. Was it that first half scoring 78 points, building up that lead, tying a franchise high record with 15 threes, or was it the way they handled that third quarter in a mature way and didn't let OKC back in the game? Season high 22 threes, and for the 12th time this season, James, holding OKC under 100 points. Impressive.
Yeah, I have to say it was. It was impressive. Timely victory, a timely, decision to realize where you are in the standings and how important these games are going out against the best team in the West. And, your sense of urgency was there from the beginning, and they got the lead in the third, and it remained there. I thought the swarming defense on Shea early in the game, he couldn't get easy shots. No one really could. The defense was in help mode. And then, Luka doing what he does, finding guys for open threes. Is franchise high? We tied a franchise high in the first half, season high 22. So, and it was all due to, really good execution and rebounding. I thought Vinny Smith, again, demonstrating that, he's going to be a productive guy off the bench, along with Gabe Vincent. So a good collective effort. And then you said the third quarter, where we've been, failing to hang on to the leads, I thought they came out with, again, a sense of urgency in the third. And it got away from them a little bit, but they were able to, hold off and maintain their lead and get the victory.
By the way, sorry, James, it tied a franchise high, 22-3.
I know it was up there.
Pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, no, it was from start to finish. I mean, in a 48-minute game, there's going to be ups and downs in your performance, some breakdowns defensively, a couple bad offensive possessions here or there, but you have to give the Lakers credit for going in with a really, true business-like mindset of wanting to win this game. Their sense of urgency was greater than the Thunder, and that's how
more at stake.
That's how both teams played. They had to win this game in a sense. That wasn't on the table for OKC, but that doesn't change. You still have to go out there and do your job, and I thought the Lakers did that. To me, you could tell the Thunder also, a lot of the whistles that they are accustomed to getting, you don't get those against the Lakers. You just don't. Mm-hmm. That's the reality of it. There's more guys whose names we recognize on the Lakers than on OKC Thunder. Mm-hmm. That's the reality of the NBA. And I thought they fell into that trap a little bit today as the game turned. They did get focused on the officials and expecting calls. Lakers just kept playing, took care of business.
Yeah, for the first time, OKC since November has lost back-to-back games. That was after winning 12 in a row. They still hold a one-game lead over Cleveland for the best record in the league. Let's go back to Oklahoma City. The Dawn is with Mike Trudell.
All right, Luka, a very impressive win for you guys here against the Western Conference leaders. Really set the tone in that first quarter. I think 42-32 was the mark. What got into you guys to really execute to that level?
I think the whole team was inspired because Real Madrid won El Clasico basketball today. No, I'm kidding. That was me.
Well, that's right, because I brought up before we went on air, I was talking about soccer yesterday, but you, of course, played basketball for Real Madrid. Fair enough. I know where your heart is there. But now with that acknowledged, and we know how good Real Madrid is, what was it in the first quarter, Luka, that got you guys going?
Our defense. I think we started aggressive. Jay just said before the game, we got to start aggressive, physical, and that's what we did.
All right, Luka, tell me about the pass to Gabe Vincent. You were standing right about here and flipped it over your head. At what point did you decide that's how you were going to get him the ball?
I don't know exactly. Sometimes I just decide things that sometimes are good, sometimes not. But I knew that he was standing behind me in the corner. That's a pretty good pass, I think.
Pretty good pass, all right.
But he made it, so that's a tough shot to make.
For sure. Well, look, a lot of your teammates hit threes tonight. Do you think, is there something collective about shooting sometimes when you see your teammates making shots, then that helps everybody else get going too?
Yeah, definitely, especially when we get shots like that, like this. I think we had a lot of open shots. We were driving the ball, sharing the ball, so I think that's the best offense we had.
Okay, last one for you. You play again in a couple days in this building. You, of course, played the Thunder last year in a tough playoff series. You know what it's like to play 2 games in a row. What's going to be the key, as you know they're going to come out pretty strong?
We got to come out with the same mentality, you know. number one in the West for a reason. They're a very tough matchup, but we gotta come out with the same mentality.
All right, thanks, Luka.
Perez, let's get your comments as we look at the Lakers' threes. 15 in the first half, which ties a franchise record for most threes in a half. 78 points in the half was the most OKC gave up all year, and the Lakers really took it to them. You heard Luka talk about kind of JJ's message before the game. 8 different guys hit threes. DFS, I thought Dorian Finney-Smith, Doe, and Gabe were huge off the bench, 4 each as well. And like James said in Fish, the ball was moving, and they were executing.
I can't tell you enough how much this team in just a few short months has completely reconfigured itself. They out-thundered the Thunder today. You and I talked on the pregame show, Al and I talked on the pregame show about how good OKC has been defensively. They force a ton of turnovers. They get a ton of points off turnovers. They're number 1 in steals, number 2 in block shots. Today, the Lakers were clearly the more dominant team defensively. That was fun to watch, start to finish. Only one other game has shocked me as much as this. When they went into Denver at the end of February, won by 23. Let this be a lesson to the entire NBA. The Lakers are absolutely a championship contender going into these good cities, these good teams, and destroying them on their home court.
And I'll say this, James, as we kind of go from the three-pointers, which are more fun to talk about on the offense and the ball moving, to really the defense is a huge story in this game. I mean, Fish mentioned it. They played good defense without fouling a lot. They also out-rebounded OKC by now. Now, obviously, that had a lot to do with the way the Lakers were shooting, but the Lakers' attention to detail, and you could just tell from the start of the game, their activity defensively, the way they were rotating, they were dialed in this game, and they had to be. They had to be. With 5 games left, the pressure going on in the standings, this was a game, as Fish said, they had to get.
I think they realized that, you know, look, as well as they are offensively and they can get shots, you're not going to get this amount of threes a lot, you know, but I thought they were very aware of what they had to do defensively. Starting with Shea, they shadowed him and they played good defense, forced him into the help. He took some tough shots in the first half that were, you know, he makes a lot of them, but he was under duress. And I thought the rotations were good. I thought the collective rebounding was pretty good. There was a moment there where they gave up some extra possession, but I think that was due to the long shots, the long three, and the long rebounds that were coming out. But to have that sustained in the third quarter was most important, and that's where they've been kind of slacking off a little bit when they get these big leads. But I thought they were able to sustain the defense and not give Oklahoma anything easy, you know, collectively. They usually get a lot of shots. Jalen, you know, Shea, they get a lot of, you know, players involved. But I just thought the Lakers defense was really good today. They moved very well, rotated well, communicated well, and they got the win.
The biggest thing about OKC and what makes them lethal with SGA, you know, as an MVP candidate is how many times he gets to the free throw line individually on a night-to-night basis, which allows them to set the #1 ranked defense in the league more often because he's at the free throw line 10 to 12 plus times per game. They shot 12 free throws total in this game tonight as a team, and SGA was 0 free throw attempts.
Looking for 14 on Tuesday night.
So again, like those things aren't the norm. The Lakers won't normally hit 22 threes.
Yeah.
I would say the one thing that we want to look forward to in terms on Tuesday is, he'll probably get to the free throw line on Tuesday. The Lakers did have 17 turnovers, 22 points conceded off those turnovers. That's a more normal stat for OKC.
Yeah.
That's an area, if there's anything the Lakers want to circle, that's the area they want to circle to come back and try and get a win on Tuesday.
Yeah.
These wins are so important because when you look at the standings coming into today, 3 through 8 in the West, separated by a game and a half, with 5 games to play, 4 games for some teams. So to go into OKC, and please excuse my confusion, OKC was favored by 9.5. And the Lakers absolutely blew the doors off this game early, stayed on top of them. The maturity in the second half, Geet, like you talked about a few minutes ago by the Lakers, just absolutely tamping down the OKC Thunder. Huge win. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, I thought that line was puzzling as well. All right, let's hear from J.J. Redick. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
JJ, just want to keep it general to get your reaction. Like, what stood out the most for you?
I'll give you a general reaction then. Okay.
Sometimes you're good at. I like to see where you go first.
Interesting.
So, yeah. What's the thing that stood out the most?
I thought we were very connected in both intent and in spirit on both ends of the floor. Very committed to what we were trying to do defensively and very committed to where we felt like we could generate good shots offensively against a terrific defense. And there wasn't a let up to that. There wasn't any overreactions to certain possessions. And then, we played at a pretty slow pace there in the second half, but didn't allow them to get out and really have enough possessions to get back into the game, which also was important. And I think our guys did a good job of not just building the lead, but besides that run they made in the second quarter, they maintained that cushion throughout the game, and that's really hard to do against anyone, particularly against this team and particularly in this building.
Specifically on offense, all of the threes that you made, was there a common thread to why you were getting such good and clean looks as to what you wanted to execute offensively?
I thought our ability to recognize those coverages was really good. Luka, again, his just ability to make threes. We got, I don't know the exact total, but Max will have it on the post-game report. We got some great uncontested corner threes. We missed some uncontested corner threes. I just thought the movement, the spacing, and the intent was great all night.
JJ, kind of two different questions. You mentioned a little bit kind of valuing possessions. It felt like there was one early in the game when they may have gotten 2 or 3 cracks and Caruso hit a 3, but otherwise, it seemed like you guys were the team that was creating extra advantages in that. How pleased were you with your team's response when it came to 50-50 balls, offensive crashing, and different things like that?
Yeah. They ended up with 9 offensive rebounds, and 4 of those came from Dylan Jones in the fourth quarter. So I think overall we did a really good job on the glass. I'd have to get the exact stats, but I know several of our turnovers were dead ball turnovers versus live ball turnovers. So we were able to set our defense. This is going to sound silly. We also had some really timely fouls where we weren't in the bonus and maybe they had an advantage, or maybe we had a man down or a man in the trail position. We were able to foul and stop the possession, and then they took it out on the side. So I just think all that stuff contributed to us just not allowing them to get in any sort of rhythm offensively.
And then you've been around Luka now as his coach for a couple months. What do you see from him when it comes to creativity and sort of performance when the test gets bigger, the challenges get harder? It seemed like there was maybe even another level unlocked. The pass he had to Gabe in the corner, a couple of the spin moves and scoop shots, stuff we haven't necessarily seen.
Yeah. I think he relishes the challenge. You're going to get the best defender every night. You're going to get all the different coverages every night when you're him. And similar to LeBron, similar to Jokic, similar to Shea. These guys have seen every test and they've figured out the way to pass each test. And a lot of times they not only pass the test, they ace the test. Sometimes great players can get bored with that process. And so when you get the fully engaged star in a big time game, some special things can happen. And Luka did some special things tonight. We were running a smash, and it was not the first option, but just the way they covered it. Very clear that Gabe was open, and I was like, hit the smash. And he dribbled into the paint and then threw it behind his head. And St. Gina was like, oh, he sees it. You don't need to tell him.
Luka, we took a snapshot. He was driving down the court. Nice patience by Gabe. Yeah. Most players try to maybe run in there and get an offensive rebound. Stay patient because he knew Luka could get it to him.
19 points and 7 assists for LeBron in the win. Let's go inside locker rooms. Mike.
LeBron, it really seemed like you had a kind of a handle on the game the whole way that it went through from a leadership standpoint, not letting up. Even if you're up plus 20, you kind of knew that OKC could come back. Could you just take us through kind of your approach to that and you're keeping your teammates along the way?
Yeah, I mean, between them and Cleveland, they're the best teams in the NBA. So, they're the number one team in the West, and you can't have a let up no matter what the score is. They're always going to make a push, and that's why they are where they are at this position in this part of the season. So, it was a really good game for us, and we can build off of it.
What do you think was the biggest reason you were generating such good looks from three, and then guys started to knock them down?
We just played with some pace. We got to where we wanted to get to offensively, and AR did what AR did. What he does every single night. You had 2 layups in a row. Oh, that's bogus. He blocked that one? Okay. I'll give you one. Second one was nasty. AR does what AR do, man, and then obviously Luka was spectacular as well. But all-around performance by everybody that came in the game tonight. It was a good win for us.
The Boston game, you guys went through a bit of a lull, but now in the last week or so, you have the road win in Memphis. You beat Houston. You beat OKC here. What type of momentum do you think you've been able to recapture?
Obviously we know it's the final stretch into the postseason, so we're just trying to rack up great habits. Obviously. Sometimes the game goes the way the game goes, and sometimes you can play a great game and still lose the game. Sometimes you can feel like you didn't play as well and win a game. But it's about habits, and I think we're just trying to, build our habits right now going into the final stretch of the season.
Along those lines, it seems like it's valuable, particularly against a team like them, that to see those habits and apply them. How big of an opportunity did you view having them on the schedule at Oklahoma City now? To kind of put what you guys have been working into in action.
We just want to. No matter who we're playing, obviously we've been pretty good against some of the better teams this year, and we haven't been as good as some of the teams that has below 500. But this is a great team to test out and see where you are. But ultimately, it's about our habits. We have to continue to push our habits. They know who they are. They know what they're going to be in the postseason, and we're still trying to figure it out. With our lineups, with us all getting acclimated to what Luka wants to do, AR, myself, and make sure we keen on everybody else on the team and make sure we held each other accountable. So, we understand that coming down the stretch we have to play some really good basketball, but we still working on our habits.
It's a single game, and obviously it'd be easy to say just do that every game, and that can be who you guys are. Right. But how much of the non-shooting stuff tonight were you happy with? The controllables.
Yeah. We know that they're very good when it comes to getting into the paint, attracting a lot. They do a great job of getting to the free throw line. They do a great job of getting offensive rebounds and second chance points. And those are some of the controllables that you control. Not putting your hand in the cookie jar, when a lot of those guys are driving, Shea, J-Dub, some of those other guys. You got to just, live with the contest, make or miss. And I think we did a great job of paying attention to detail in that. And then when they missed, they did get a couple offensive rebounds in the first half, but I thought in the second half we shored that up. So we was very keen on what we needed to do.
How are you personally going to manage the back-to-back coming up?
What's today? Damn. Can I get to it? I don't even know. I know. I don't even know, man. I'm about to go shoot. Mind the game with Steve Nash. That's what's most important right now. We got that dub out the way. Now I'm going to go shoot Mind the game with Steve Nash. So we get there when we get there.
Last question.
We're just going to ask you about the.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll give her extra credit.
Oh, extra one. The type of ball pressure that OKC puts on the perimeter with all those guys that got out there. What are the ways you've learned over the years to handle that in kind of the best way? And can you at any point use it not against them?
Pressure with pressure, and also nobody is faster than the ball. And when it comes to ball movement and things of that nature, that combats a lot of the ball pressure. When the ball is moving, the ball is flying around. I thought we did a great job of being able to put the ball on the ground when the defense shifted, being able to find the extra guy on the perimeter, either for shots or driving kicks. So, like I said, when that ball is popping, that's always a key to success.
Last question, Terry.
JJ was just saying how this game and the Houston game have been the best performances for the team defense since you've been back from injury. And he said a few weeks ago that what they really miss from you on defense is your voice. I'm just wondering, what you think you do for the team in guiding them.
Yeah. obviously my voice and being able to command and let guys know what's going on behind them, and also just calling out the keys, on the defensive end. I'm able to see a lot of the plays before the plays happen because of my knowledge of the game, my knowledge of my opponents, my knowledge of the team, what they want to do. So, being able to just, letting guys know what's going on behind them, letting guys know what's coming before it happens, so we can always keep our hand on the swivel. We can always know, be kind of one step ahead. And I understand that's my responsibility to anchor the defense, and I'm happy to do that. Appreciate it.
The first quarter, where were you guys able to establish control of the game? What did you think stood out the most?
Defensively, we were locked in, and then obviously it helps when you shoot, really well from 3, 2, whatever. So, but I think it started on the defensive end, locked in, getting stops, running, and then, when it slowed down, we got into stuff that was good for us.
The three-point rhythm really clearly carried forward from you from the previous 2 games, but then it seemed like the whole team got ignited. Do you think is shooting contagious in that way when the teammates are knocking it down? Does it make it easier?
Yeah, I mean it's a good feeling when you see everybody making shots and you're just waiting for your opportunity to shoot one and then for it to go in. So I think just playing the right way is contagious, and that's what we did tonight.
Just how significant of a win is it, considering the context of how tight things are in the West? OKC, how well they've been playing, and you guys coming in kind of looking for a signature road win.
Yeah, I mean it's huge. They got the best record in basketball, I believe, and with where the standings are, you could go from 3rd to I think 8th in snap of a finger. So for us to come in here and play such a good team the way we did tonight is big, and hopefully we can continue that momentum to Tuesday.
Beyond the win tonight, is there any psychological beyond what Mike mentioned in terms of what the win does for the standings and stuff like that? Is there a psychological thing to that's a team you very likely could play again. I mean, you're going to play Tuesday, but in the playoffs too, to see like that your best habits can produce that type of result. Is there benefit in that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you play like that, regardless of who you're playing, anytime you can go watch that tape and you can see so much stuff that we can build on, so much stuff that we did right. There wasn't too many chaotic possessions for us on offense and defensively. We didn't have too many breakdowns. I feel like we kept those to a minimal tonight. I think we kept them off the free throw line really well, and we paid attention to the details tonight. Just played a really good game.
You mentioned that lack of breakdowns defensively. What else did you like the most about the defensive performance? It felt like one of the better ones you guys have had.
You see this man right here? He's a great defender. And we got a lot of guys like that. Fando comes in, Goody comes in. Everybody, like I said, was locked into one goal. And that's, doing what we were supposed to do, following the game plan. The coaches put together a good game plan, and we went and executed it.
Last 2?
So it's special coming back to Oklahoma?
Yeah, it's fun. I just gave you a compliment. Would you just stay over there? Stay over there. Yeah, it's fun. It's not far from from where I grew up, and obviously I did 3 years here. So seeing familiar faces. My dad's here tonight, so it's fun. It feels like a home environment for me. No more.
All right, guys. Brez, I'll start with you. Just Austin Reeves, a lot of talk before the game. Just the way he has played this year, but also in this past month, kind of elevating his game, the way he is fit with Luka and LeBron. A lot of talk about him being one of the most improved players in the NBA, and it's been really good to see. And just the way he played tonight, too, just so under control. Didn't need a lot of volume to get to that 20. His three's been great.
Yeah, it was hard to interview him after the game the other day because LeBron kept interjecting that this guy should be winning awards. And, it might be a little too late, excuse me. Now it's the 3rd choice to be the most improved player. Again, a little bit far behind those 2 guys. But his ascension the last couple months, we started the discussion probably about a month ago. Where was he as a 3rd option in the entire league? I mean, Boston's got a few good players. OKC's got a few good players. I'd put Austin up with any number 3 option, any other number 3 option on any other team. He's playing that well right now, James. He is fun to watch.
He is. And it's been fun to watch his, evolution of coming to this point where he is in his career. I don't think he cares about the award that much. It'd be nice to get it. As far as he's concerned, man, he's made a USA team. You know what I mean? And he's played over there. So to me, I think those are the things that are important to him. But just to have another player on the floor, that is a threat. You have to pay attention to him now, just like you have to pay attention to LeBron and Luka, and that only frees up for Goodwin, for Finney Smith. If he's another guy that gives you, room to operate because he's a threat. You got to stay close to him. You can't switch on him. You can't leave him open for the three. And so when Goodwin comes in and guys like that, they're operating, under all his success and what he's able to do along with Luka and LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Austin has improved, year over year. I mean, the numbers say it. The team is playing really well. He's probably going to suffer from a little bit of LeBron sunshine and greatness, and then you add Luka to that mix a little bit, for maybe 25, 30-plus games. So some people, voters, again, we don't have votes, but people that are voting will feel like he benefits from having such great players around him that's why he's able to do some of the things he's doing. So like Brett said, maybe Dyson Daniels or somebody that doesn't necessarily have that level of greatness around them every night get the benefit of the doubt. But we know how we feel. That's all we can control, and Austin's doing a great job out there, man, playing at a high level.
All right, guys, Luka with another 30-piece in the win. His third.
He's about to touch the floor. He just flipped it up, man. It's talent with some English on it.
Yeah, no, I could never do that.
I remember a high off the glass against Boston with 6 guys fouling you to win the game.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Game 3, just no big deal. They had an extra guy out there fouling 6 guys.
Look at what I was doing, though.
Yeah.
Luka, it's different, dude. He can do things without even having to look.
Luka led all scores with 30 points. He's speaking with the media in OKC.
Luka, first, talk about obviously, the way that you guys were able to create mismatches from the jump, and obviously this is the #1 defense in the league. How were you able to help create those mismatches and obviously generate season high in threes today?
Just playing our basketball. I think we share the ball great, and that's how we got great looks.
Basically, a lot of, I know it's a dominant first half for you, and you've had a lot of recent history with this team playing in the playoffs. What would you say has made them so special throughout the year, coming in and having a game plan for them?
Obviously, first is Shy. I think he's an unbelievable player. He makes them look like they're an incredible team, and they are. And then second is, I think, their defense. I have a lot of guys that can guard 1 through 5. They can switch. They can control the game with their defense, and they have a lot of weapons.
Luka, you're obviously very familiar with this OKC team, but thinking just your own team, does getting this win in this fashion give you any additional kind of confidence about where you guys can ultimately go? And how is that coming together for you now as you keep learning your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, it's very tough to play here, very tough to win, obviously. But, and look at the standings today. It's crazy in the West, so we needed this win badly.
In just the past 6 games, you guys have beaten 2 of the teams above you in the West, and JJ said in those performances you guys have had some of your better defensive games since LeBron and Rui came back. What does it say about the group that you guys were or have been able to do that?
I mean, just amazing. Like we said from the start, I mean, JJ said, we need to be physical and we need to go out on this game aggressive, and that's what we did. So that was our goal, and, we shot pretty good. We got a lot of open looks, so the game was flowing.
Luka, obviously for you, night in, night out, you want to be engaged, you want to do the right things, you want to make the right plays. But when a team challenges you the way that a defender like Lu Dort wants to, or the way that high pressure defense, what level of creativity does that unlock for you? It seems like you enjoy kind of that level of I guess there's probably no better.
More switch-heavy team, and then eventually they started to kind of blitz a bit, and then you guys were picking them apart. What does that say about the ceiling for this group offensively as going up against the league's best defense? You're able to kind of control the game that way.
Yeah, I think we're the best, when they blitz. It's, I would say, easy basketball 4-on-3. I mean, obviously it's not easy, but, we just kind of worked on that, and we saw that since I've been here, we've been getting better and better in that. So I think today the ball was moving, and we were getting a lot of open shots, and that's what we need to do moving forward.
You were critical of your performance against the Warriors. How would you rate how you did tonight, particularly in the first half, because it seemed like you were controlling the action, racking up assists, shooting at a high efficiency number, and obviously the team followed your lead?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. Obviously, always can be better, but the important part is to win the game, and that's what we did today.
Luka, you had that crazy pass to Gabe in the corner. Have you guys practiced that or had any conversations just to get him ready? Or what do you think prepared him to be ready for that pass?
I mean, I don't think you can practice that pass, honestly. It's just, you know, sometimes I decide some stuff that I don't know how I make it. So, I mean, I was just glad he made it. He made it because that's a tough shot to make.
As a player, that he was just ready to go. He saw it coming.
He's a big professional. He's a great guy. You know, once I came here, I didn't know him personally before, so just playing with him is amazing. He's a truly great person.
Dodo with 14 points. Oh, no, excuse me. Sorry. Everyone relax. Derek Fisher
got hit in the head by Garnett.
Crushed.
Look, had 3 Celtics coming at him. Little tiny baby.
That was a big fat baby. It was Garnett. That's a flagrant.
Hit Fish in the head. That should have been a flagrant.
Ray Allen
didn't have a chance. I don't know what he was doing.
Look at all those quiet people in the crowd. Look at Powell.
Fish knew they were coming, and so he knew that they couldn't get up to that. That's rainbow. Garnett.
If you can now flash to me up at the highest level, flipping off the rest of the Boston media, standing up in my suit like, let's go, who wants this smoke?
He didn't get a foul on that either, did you?
Yeah, they
called a foul. Okay.
But they didn't care that it hit Fish's head, gave him a concussion. No one cared about that those days. It was care less.
No.
Common foul.
It's hard to get a concussion on this thing, Geets.
Talk about fearless. Talk about fearless.
Contact.
But fearless. Most people pull up for a little floater or a little jumper.
Fish said, I'm going to hit this.
Come on,
take it.
Game 3.
Game 3. Doe with 14 points, 4 triples in the win. Now we go here. And Finney-Smith. He scored 14 of the Lakers' 39 bench points. Back to OKC. He's with Mike.
So, Austin just praised you. Would you like to praise him back on camera?
Oh, man, been shooting out the ball lately. You know, everybody's seeing, you know, the leaps he done made this year, and just happy to keep it going.
What did you feel like was the signifier in that first quarter? Like, all right, yeah, we're locked in. This is going in the right direction. And once you got to that point, how did you keep your foot on the pedal as a team?
We just executed the game plan, kept them off the free throw line. You know, was the attention to detail in the defensive end was there, and you know, us just making shots. I think that just the energy from our defense is carrying over.
Another individual plus-minus crown for you if you want to tell Luka tonight, plus 28. But in the minutes that you're out there, and it's either Chet or Hartenstein, like, what are the important trade-offs that you're trying to make to give you guys an advantage?
Just trying to make them big guys play on the perimeter, and that's what we did. We got them playing on the perimeter. Luka got to make some shots, so they start trapping, and I was able to get some corner threes, and it just all around great team win though.
Going into this game, like, their best players kind of in the lead, the MVP discussion. Do you guys take that personal when you have guys like Luka and LeBron, where you're like, well, you know, like, we might have the better guys on our side?
No, obviously I feel like that, but tonight we just wanted to get the win. We know what's at stake. We know the standings and what's going on. So every game's matter, and like Brian said, we're gonna treat these last couple games like playoff games, and we did.
And today in Memphis and Houston, you and Gabe both were locked in from the outside. It wasn't there against Golden State. Was there anything different about the nature of the shots, or is it just kind of make or miss?
Make or miss, but running around with Steph don't help. Nah, but it was a great team win. It's hard to beat us with me and Gabe making shots.
Again, all the action can be seen right here on Spectrum Sports Center. Pregame coverage starts at 4 o'clock. Tip-off is at 5. Brest, Western Conference standings.
Big win by the Lakers today. If for no other reason, A, they take a step closer to finishing 3rd instead of 4th or 5th, and B, just another game closer to avoiding the dreaded play-in tournament. Hey, it's fun to watch if you're just a casual fan. We have had enough of the play-in tournament here. Lakers have been in it way too many times the last few years. So if you can get that extra week of rest, Lakers regular season ends a week from today, D-Fish, and then they probably would start the playoffs, assuming there's no play-in tournament for them, the following Sunday. So you can get 7 days between games if you can avoid that dreaded play-in. And a win like today really gets you on a nice footing away from that.
Golden State, who's won 5 in a row, have the Rockets tonight. Denver, who's lost 3 in a row without Jamal Murray. They get Indiana at home. tonight. So some big games. Obviously, the Clippers have won 5 in a row. Minnesota, so the teams behind the Lakers have all been red hot.
Yeah, no, it's going to definitely come down to the final day of the regular season for all of these things to settle in. Plenty of tiebreaker scenarios will be in play. It'll be fun to watch.
Big game. Enjoy the national championship game tomorrow night because Duke is not in it.
No Duke. Yes, no Duke.